welcome to the Bench Movie Club. I'm Charlie.
I'm Ben.
And in this episode, let's talk about Exorcist from 1973, directed by William Friedkin, who also done French Connection and Sorcerer.
I ain't seen either of them. I've heard of French Connection.
Sorcerer I done a podcast on a few months ago.
Is that the one you done a solo?
Yeah. Yeah. I also done... What else did he do?
Why did you do a solo?
Because you weren't available. You weren't about.
Yeah, but there must be someone else that you could have done.
Yeah, but no one else wanted to watch the film.
So why did you necessarily have to do that one then?
Because it's a great film and loads of people don't know it. And I thought, well, you know what? Rather than wait for someone else to watch the film and realise how good it was, I'll just do a podcast on my own. Anyway.
Yeah, don't do them on your own again.
Exorcist from 1973. It's based on a book by...
William Peter Blatty. Is that right?
Yeah.
I remember that from years ago.
Yeah, you had the book, didn't you?
Yeah, I never read it.
No, it's a shame because you've been able to go, oh, actually, this is different and that's different. The film stars Max von Sydow. He's the old priest. You know, Max von Sydow is the actual exorcist.
The old priest, yeah.
The one who's on the iconic shot of him standing.
Yeah, walking into the house, yeah.
Do you know how old he was for this in real life?
He probably wasn't as old as he looked.
Have a guess.
35? No, about 60 odd, 60.
He's 43.
No, how old was he really?
43. He was genuinely 43 years old.
Your age?
Yeah. But it's because it was special effects makeup. They made him look old, but he also acted old. And you genuinely believe he's an old man, like how he's getting up and stuff.
I never would have thought
he was my
that.
age. And you know how you know, if you look at part 2,
yeah,
he's in part 2, just a few little clips. There's a clip of him at the bed, like there's like a when they're doing that stupid mind thing, and you can see him. But you also see him as a younger man, and he's sort of got blonde hair. That's how he actually looked. But they gave him liver spots.
That looked really good then for that age. Because there's that you wouldn't look at all and go, oh, he's a young.
That's why I had to double check, because I remember for years I see him in other films. He was like in Minority Report, which is like around about 2000, and I remember thinking he's been old forever because he was old in Exorcist,
yeah.
And he only recently died a few years ago. So that's why I thought, but he looked so old back in like 1973.
Yeah, he looked like he was in his 70s.
So I looked up his age for Exorcist, and I kept doing the maths over and over again. I thought 43. So he was 43 when he shot this. And it was only going through the trivia I found out about how they got loads of accolades for making him look so old.
See, I didn't think that. I thought the makeup effects would have been just basically based on Reagan.
No, but that's probably why it works so well as well, because you're not looking at him. It's like a magic trick, and you just assume he's.
But why spend all that money making him look so old when they should have just got an older actor?
Because
he's brilliant. Don't get me wrong.
He was already established himself. He was in The Seventh Seal.
Right.
Which is that classic film where, the Swedish film, where it's got death and him playing chess.
Okay.
You'd have seen the picture loads of times.
I think so, yeah.
And that was probably only about 10 years before this, 10 or 15 years before this. So they actually wanted Marlon Brando as well at one point.
What, to play
that priest. We'll get onto the other actors anyway.
Right.
So yeah, he's 43. So he was only 3 years older than Ellen Burstyn, who of course is the mum in it, who was also in Requiem for a Dream, and she was also in The Exorcist Believer. That was one of the new ones. You seen it?
I ain't seen it, that's right, there is a new one.
Yeah.
And Linda Blair, was she in it?
Briefly. I'll spoil it for you, because it's rubbish. Exorcist the Believer there's 2 girls this time get possessed.
That's right.
And there's about halfway through they go, there is someone who's experienced this, and she keeps saying, I'm not an exorcist, but I'm an expert. And she's brought back into it, and she gets stabbed in the eyes with crucifix. So then she's blind, and at the very end, while she's sitting there, Linda Blair comes in and goes, Mum, and holds her hand, and that's it. Anyway, I'll talk about how crap that film is in a little bit.
It's really that bad? Really?
Yeah.
I remember when that came out and I was actually excited about it, thinking that's why I probably haven't heard about it since, because people just forgot about it.
Yeah, I think it's not that it's that bad, but it's about modern cinema, because you look at acting, like you watch The Exorcist. I watched The Exorcist again, And all the way through it, I'm just thinking, what a brilliant film. It's so well made. And it hasn't got that much of a score. Those of it, what makes it creepy is the silence. And it feels realistic. The acting is realistic.
Yeah.
You know, it's not over the top.
Yeah.
And it's not like going for the obvious thing. So it's got like Father Karras saying as if like, he's saying, look, I chucked water, but it was normal water. It wasn't holy water. Whereas in the modern one, they go, that was holy water. And they'll be all like posing sort of acting and people going over the top. But they don't have to. They talk very sort of realistically and matter-of-factly. And it's such believable acting. So many brilliant actors in that. And then you go to the modern one where everyone's going, look at me, sweetheart. Oh, my God, look at his leg. And I thought, oh.
I still think they give people enough credit to work out themselves that obviously, okay, they're sprinkling water, that's going to be holy water. You don't have to say it's holy water. That kind of thing, you know?
Yeah. But anyway, so I'm bursting to talk about it. Linda Blair, who's, of course, in Exorcist 2, The Heretic, which is your favourite one of the franchise.
No,
and Repossessed.
Why are you saying that? It obviously isn't. I hate that film.
And Repossessed.
Yeah, that was a bit cheesy as well. I see that when it come out, but I see that before I see The Exorcist.
Really?
Because The Exorcist has still been banned at that point over here. Because I hadn't seen it at that point. I remember when Exorcist come out, it was a massive big deal, and I thought I'm finally going to get to see it. My ways of coming through The Exorcist was French and Saunders, then there was Repossessed, and there was all the talk about it and about what a scary horror film this was, like the worst thing ever. Been banned for like 10 years in the UK. Then all of a sudden it was released. I was like, oh, I'm going to be so scared at this. You know, but I think I built it up so much to be scared. I love the film, don't get me wrong, but I'm not scared by the film.
No, but I think it is a scary film, and I think it's about the situation. Like I watched it at night, no one else there in the flat. I have all the lights off, and then you think, oh, it is eerie, it's creepy. But I think this is the mistake that the new one, The Believer, does. It goes for jump scares. It's like and that's gonna get you. Right, and I think, but that's not scary. That's just like someone going up to you, going, hey, and you think, all right, well, tell me something interesting.
I think you've got to make things a lot more like, go back, strip it all back to what made films successful in the 70s and 80s. What made them successful was, it wasn't all the over-the-top kind of, over-the-top acting and all that. It was, although some of them was. But the stories were just simple, and I think the score is also a lot to do with a lot of films back then. You know, like it sort of that builds the suspense, doesn't it? Like Halloween, for example, the score in that is freaky as anything.
What's the Halloween score? Do the Halloween score. What is it?
Dun 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 dun.
Now do the Exorcist score.
I can't think of this.
No, you know why? I mean, it might be only for me and a few people.
No, Andrew, is it?
Right, okay, I'll give you another example. It's just digressing slightly. There's certain tunes, certain bits of music, which are quite similar and they can get mixed up. So I always find the Halloween...
It's gone out of my head completely, Tubular Bells.
If I'd asked you the Exorcist one first, and then said, now do the Halloween one, you would have gone...
Dun, 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 dun,
Is that it? It sounds like a game show. What about, okay, try this one. This is one that always used to get me. Do the Superman music.
No, you're going to do Superman Star Wars, isn't you?
Yeah.
I know. And they are very similar.
Yeah, both John Wayne. But anyway, that was the score. That part, that is not actually the score. That's the Tubular Bells by Mark Oldfield. So he'd made that album, Tubular Bells, which is basically just 2 songs, and they're both 22 minutes long, because it's progressive rock, prog rock. And if you put the needle halfway through the record, you wouldn't know what. No, it's exactly different. It's completely different.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's completely different. The song changes because this is what prog rock is.
It's all like Pink Floyd. Yeah.
Yeah, but they're completely different. It'll be different instruments and stuff. If you put the Tubular Bells, like, say, 15 minutes in on Spotify, go 15 minutes in, play it, and played it to someone, say, what's this? They'd go, no idea. Sounds like some 70s rock song. And then you play the beginning, and they go, oh, Exorcist, because it's only at the very beginning they use that. Because the album wasn't selling that well, it was doing okay, but then Freaking came across the album and said, I want to use that bit of music, and it launched Mike Oldfield from that. You've also got Lee J. Cobb is the detective in it.
I know, yeah.
Yeah, he's a really good actor. He was in 12 Angry Men. Do you remember?
Yeah,
he was the one who's like getting really passionate about it. I told you he done it.
Yeah, he looks familiar. He looks like he's in like quite a lot of the old films that I might have seen.
But I thought he was fantastic in 12 Angry Men anyway. But yeah, he was good in this. He was also.
I think all the actors in this are fantastic.
You got Jack McGowan. He is the director. No, the one, you know what she did, your cunting daughter.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so he's the one who's sort of saying, and she's saying, are you going to go out with him, kind of thing. But they find him dead at the bottom of the stairs, don't they?
Yeah.
She's twisted his head round. He was in The Quiet Man, which me and Matt done a podcast on earlier this year. He died in 1973.
Yeah, he died before it was released.
Yeah, of influenza.
Yeah.
Jason Miller is the young priest.
Right.
Who was in Exorcist 3, and Marilyn, the Untold Story.
Okay.
He played Arthur Miller in that. He died of a heart attack in 2001, aged 62.
That's not old, really.
No, but
old.
Yeah, I thought he was fantastic. I like his sort of understated performance in it. There was other actors who were
He's a brilliant actor, and he's got a look of like a sort of like an Al Pacino or Robert De Niro type of look, hasn't he, about him? And I'm surprised Jerry ain't been in more stuff.
Yeah. When I was watching it the other night, I think it was because Mark Kermode, who's a famous critic in this country, probably the most famous critic, this is his favourite film. And he was actually to thank that I think in the early 90s, he was campaigning for the film. And he looked up all the deleted footage. He got it all remastered and stuff. So now doing the crab walk down the stairs, all those bits and stuff.
Because that wasn't in the original film.
No,
from years ago. They'd cut that out before they actually released it. So it was all just like hearsay. You know, when that was about.
But he managed to get loads of. So there is a version which I watched by accident. I was trying to watch the original version, which has got all those bits put in it.
It's good you see it, because that's quite good, that bit with the crab walk down the stairs.
Yeah, I mean, it's really freaky, that. But I can understand, apparently Friedkin cut that out because he said he was playing his hand too soon.
Yeah. Because
doing that, then all straight away you go, well, obviously she's possessed, and what kind of weird thing running crab walk down the stairs, and then the blood coming out of her mouth. But watching this, I don't know if it was a different... If this was because it was a different version. I see the demon's face a few more times. What's the demon called? Azuzu.
Azuzu, I think.
Because the first, I always knew of seeing his face in that dream sequence, which I loved.
Yeah,
I love that dream sequence because
I think it's about 2 times. I think in the film, the normal film.
Yeah, I see it. I think 3 times in total. See it on the splashback when she's walking through the kitchen. She's walking in well, this is why I think it might be something that was added, but in the splashback in the kitchen, and the lights are flashing on and off, you see his face sort of, and I think you see it on an angel. Oh, what's the other thing? How does The Exorcist end? The very last shot. Do you remember? Because they're all leaving. She sees the priest, she hugs the priest.
The detective, it's not the priest, it's the detective.
No, she hugs the priest because she sees his dog collar.
Yeah, and he walks to the top of the stairs, looks down at the bottom, and then just walks away. Because
this version, I think, was different. Because what happens, I'm sure I remember it, what you're saying, where he walks to the top of the stairs and then the music starts playing a bit. Ding, 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 and it cuts to the end credits. But this version I watched, he walked to the top of the stairs, then he walks away, and then he sees the detective, and the detective starts talking to him and says, listen, Father, you want to go to cinema?
Yeah.
You know, like how he had that conversation earlier. And he says,
that's the happier ending.
Yeah.
That's what they wanted, a happier sort of ending. That's what that one was shot for.
Yeah, right. Because they have that conversation.
Like this hope kind of thing, I think they was thinking about.
But that one works if then straight away you watch Exorcist 3. Because I watched Exorcist 3 straight afterwards, and even though it's different actors, it's them 2 characters. And he's saying, it's like 15 years later. Exorcist 3. And the detective and the priest, they do this thing where once a week they go cinema together. Okay. So it's a continuation from that.
Okay, well that makes sense then.
The film was followed by Exorcist 2, The Heretic, from 1977, rated 3.8 on IMDb.
Yeah, because I think where The Exorcist was such a big deal, you can't follow that. And then to follow it with something that actually you look and go, what?
Yeah, all I knew about it, do you remember the trailer? It's really flashy trailer, locusts, and you see the wall exploding and their brain melting, and James L. Jones and all these African tribe dancers and all this, and it kept flashing really quickly. And for a trailer back then, that was quite a good trailer. But I remember going, "Oh, why don't we watch Exorcist 2?" And you went, "No, shit." So I was like, I never bothered watching.
I mean, the thing, and also the fact that she was in it again, you think, "Oh wow, it's going to be amazing."
Oh, and Max von Sydow, as I said, he came back for like a few little flashback bits, and it had, what's her name? Woman out of One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Louise Fletcher.
Yes.
Hang on a second.
Louise Fletcher.
Because you was looking through that.
Yeah, sorry, go on.
Yeah, Louise Fletcher?
No, it wasn't her. It was, yeah, it was Louise Fletcher. She plays like a psychiatrist or something. She's the one doing the mind melting for the thing. She's a fantastic actor. And
it's just a really bad story. They should have really thought about how to bring that back. Was keeping it very similar to the first film. That's what people are looking for, aren't they?
Exorcist 3, which came out in 1990, is 6.5 on IMDb, which is the highest rated of all the sequels, which makes sense.
I think that was actually quite good from what I remember.
Well, I watched it. It's
in a mental hospital.
It's big parts because you got what's his name? Is an actor who's replaced the Lee Cobb's part. Anyway, he's sort of investigating this serial killer. And I think it's got Billy Crudup in it as it's got the priest, the original priest in the mental home, and I think it gets a little bit complicated at times, but there are some really scary moments in it. There's a bit where a priest is sitting in a confession box and you can hear the voice on the other side is there. Father, I've got to tell you something. You think, oh God, that's horrible. And then he kills the priest. You don't see it, but it's scary enough. And there's a bit in the mental home where this nurse is investigating this sound. And the camera stays on it for ages, and there's like this ice and all this stuff. And then as she sort of walks, all of a sudden this nun walks across with like these scissors behind her, like to cut her head off. Yeah, vaguely remember it. I see it once years ago. I remember watching that when I was babysitting for Adam, funny enough, and it was me and Joanne who was sitting there. It was like that's when we saw it. So I do know it was around about 1990 sort of time. Yeah, it weren't. It's not terrible. I wouldn't say rewatch it. As I say, it's the best of the sequels as far as I'm concerned, but it's still in the shadow of Exorcist. What I like about it, it seems very similar pacing and acting style to the first Exorcist. Then you had Exorcist the Beginning from 2004, Dominion, prequel to The Exorcist 2005, because they had two prequels in production at the same time, which is weird. And then, as I said, they had a TV series from 2016 to 2018. And
TV series? What, The Exorcist?
Yeah, it's rated fairly well on IMDb. Yeah, so it might be worth looking at. But then there was that Exorcist the Believer, which, as I said, I was watching it, and after watching The Exorcist, I'm now watching this modern day with all the tropes and too much music. And
see, it should be better now. We should be so much better at doing this. It's like, but they, like whenever they do a remake, for example, the Halloween, when that was coming back and it was all with the original cast. Like, was it everyone that was in the original? I think was on board with the new Halloween. I thought, oh, fantastic! It's just like something they try to capture the magic of the first, and straight away with that you could see it was a moneymaker because they made three films where it should have been one and done. It should have been one film. It should have been a fantastic film that you could look at the very first film, look at the very last film, and they should marry up nicely. But no, it becomes a money thing, and then you look at it and you think, well, they've made 3 films out of this. They didn't need to make 3 films. Also, they go a little bit too over the top. Like, I think it was a bit too much with Jamie Lee Curtis and all the gadgets and this kind of thing.
Home Alone.
Yeah, it was a bit. And then there was so many bits that I looked at and I felt quite disappointed because, like, you're so excited about it. Like, that's the same, obviously, what happened with the Exorcist remake. You know, the one that came out, was it a couple of years ago, wasn't it? The Exorcist Believer?
Yeah, that was 2023.
Yeah, I knew it was a couple of years ago, I thought so.
Yeah, and it's a shame Ellen Burstyn went back for it because she's sort of really underusing it, and she doesn't, you can see she's just phoning it in. She's sort of saying the lines that they give to her, you know.
This is before same time next year, isn't it?
What, this film?
Yeah, it would be, I think.
Yes.
Same time next year.
Yeah. Late 70s.
Late 70s, that's right.
This is 73, yeah. And then, of course, as we mentioned, there was Repossessed 1990. And also the opening of Scary Movie 2 in 2001, which parodies
The Exorcist.
That probably...
And that's got Veronica
Cartwright in it, and James Woods.
Yeah.
I thought that's really funny. That
I haven't seen them Scary Movie films for a long time. I know I remember liking them, like the first one and all that. Then I think as they got on more, they got a bit more, a bit silly. You know, like.
Yeah, the second one, as I said, is funny. The Exorcist parody at the beginning is really funny. But this film was huge when it came out. It was like loads of word of mouth. There was some mixed reviews, but loads of people just like.
But you got to think there was nothing like this. So even though by today's standards we might look and go, "Oh, that ain't scary." In them days, in a cinema as well, because I mean, you could watch something on the telly, and if I remember, for example, when I see Cape Fear in the cinema, it scared the shit out of me because of the noises and because everything that's going on with it. When I watched it on telly, I thought, oh, it's not as jumpy or as if as what I remember it to be. So can you imagine The Exorcist with these people that have never seen anything like this before? This was quite new. I think the closest thing was like Psycho. You know, there was nothing like this.
Well, you know who saw it in the cinema? Mum and Dad went and see it when she was pregnant with you. She was about 7 months pregnant with you, and she said that her and Dad see it and they liked it. They said it was really scary, and that night she had a nightmare and fell out of bed.
Well, we fell out of bed then, me and Mum.
So that was the first film you saw in the cinema.
That's right. I was born 74. No, she'd been 7 months pregnant with me. I was born in September 74. This came out in 73.
In America. In the UK.
Ah, right.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, she reckoned about 7 months. She said she was pregnant with you anyway. Yeah. I think she remembers if she was pregnant.
Oh, so that's the first film I ever see.
Yeah.
See?
And it was considered the biggest recruiting poster for the Catholic Church. Because obviously, some people would say, oh, it's sacrilegious. Well, it's not. It's saying as if you think this film... Because people will watch that film and think, you know what, I need backup. And then people start going to church. Because they started becoming really religious, going, oh, please, Jesus, save me from this. And you get so many people who are so paranoid about things like that. And it was such a big promotion for the Catholic Church. Tunisia, which is predominantly a Muslim country, banned the film before its 1975 release due to its unjustified propaganda in favour of Christianity.
I know, it made a massive stir, this film.
And the book, Reagan orgasms during the crucifix.
Also, the crucifix scene, there was a more extreme version of it.
Yeah, that's horrible. I look at
but there was a more detailed. There was a few clips he cut from that.
Yeah.
So you can imagine what that must have been like. I mean, that makes you cringe. Each time I look at that, I'm like, oh, it's like.
And you think the artistic decision as well is also originally in the book. The room is like filled with diarrhea and stuff like that because, as you can imagine, she's just sort of constantly defecating. Not necessarily. I like how the room is sort of all white, how the bed's all sort of padded, And
it was based on a real exorcism of a 14-year-old boy.
That's right.
Apparently.
Yeah, it was based on the exorcism of Roland Doe. The Skeptical Inquirer reported his identity as Ronald Edwin Hunkler, because originally he protected his identity. He was born June 1st, 1935, and died May 10th, 2020. So he had a long life. His aunt had introduced him to the ouija board, like I have you.
I ain't touching it.
But it was after the aunt's death that they started noticing furniture moving and all this stuff coming about, so it was probably her.
And did you also know, the scene where Reagan slaps Ellen Burstyn? But when they pulled her back on, the thing that they pulled her back on, the brace thing, it damaged her back, and that pain cry is a real pain. Because I think her back was damaged from that moment onwards.
Yeah, and I think Reagan herself as well.
She had stuff. It was the bed.
Yeah,
that done her back in as well.
And also, where she's got an aversion to cold now because where she was in this freezer room because they made it a proper freezer room, to get all that smoke coming out of their mouth and everything. Right, the people who were also considered, Jack Nicholson and Paul Newman were both considered for Karras.
Yep.
Which is fine. But again, I love Jack Nicholson, but I think for that particular role, I prefer the understated performance we got rather than him going, so you're going to tell me that this kid's possessed? Yeah. It would have become a Jack Nicholson film then.
You can't change the cast in this. The cast is good because they're also, they wasn't really well known.
No.
None of them. And you don't get distracted then by, oh, I'm going to see this new film with my celebrity that I love in it.
And what's he like in it and stuff, You just watch the film and think, this feels real. And that's what you try to go for a film. Audrey Hepburn, Anne Bancroft and Jane Fonda were all considered for Chris. Friedkin rejected Shirley MacLaine and pursued Carol Burnett. Because he's
Hannigan.
Yeah, because he said he see something in it, because even though she was known as Margaret,
she would have been good in it.
I think she could have worked.
Because I think, you know, like
as a serious actress,
I think she would have been really good in it. I mean, I just know her from Annie, so that's what I know her from. But yeah, she could have passed that easily.
But the studio turned her down. The studio said vetoed it, said no, because she's a comedy actor. But yeah, I think absolutely she could have done that. Pamela Ferdin, who was Violet Beauregard in Willy Wonka.
Okay.
Her family turned down the role for her because they felt the script was too dark.
Yeah, right.
So she was offered the part first.
Like, would you have let Lily do this film?
Yeah. Yeah, it's only a film. I'd have let Lily do this.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she would have loved it. I'd have gone, right, we got to do this thing and whatever. But she was.
How old was she in real life in this film? About 14, wasn't she?
I think she was 12. Oh no, she's 13. She's playing a 12-year-old, isn't she? But she was 13
in real life.
Yeah.
I thought she was older. I thought she was about 14.
And also because they was considering slightly older because of the content, so young teenagers and stuff. Janet Leigh wouldn't let Jamie Lee Curtis audition.
Oh, okay. No, but I think Linda Blair is perfect. She's a really good actress. For a young actress, she's really good. Also, apparently, I think the version you might have seen, and I just want to clarify this, because there's a few more outbursts that she has. Like, you see her, because you see her all nice and sweet at the beginning, and then she's playing with the Ouija board.
Yeah.
And there's a few extra clips where you actually start seeing her, like, snapping a bit more, or things happening. Is that true? Did you see that?
I see a bit when they take her to the hospital to observe her, and there's a bit where she's walking around and she's swearing at this nurse and stuff, and I thought, I don't remember this. Yeah. And there's quite a few little bits, and that's when he has this long conversation with the mum saying, is she known for, does she say profanities? And she's like, no, what does she say? And he says, well, she's told her to stick it up her cunt or something like that. And I thought, I don't remember all this. So I think it's worth watching this version, because it was, as I said, it was sort of like watching the film for the first time.
That's like the director's cut. And also, to be truthful, it's probably, that's the kind of one you could watch that one again and again. Because if you're going to sit down to watch this film, it ain't like, like as you said with Aliens and other films where they're the special edition, you only need to see them once. This one, if you want to watch Exorcist, I would watch that one. Because you've got, like, none of the bits in it are like, oh, that's dragging too much. It's all just adding to the story.
I think, I mean, I looked at the running time. It didn't seem that particularly longer. So they might have even changed, like, used alternative things and taken some bits out. And I think it's definitely, if you like the film, it's definitely worth watching this version as well. Like, especially if you've watched the original so many times. It's like watching it with fresh eyes. And you go, oh, this is a new bit. Okay, right. It's all good stuff. It's not like they've cut out bollocks from it. And another thing I like about this, which the later ones just ignore, because the later ones just go full on like, yes, this is demons and stuff like that, and they don't give no alternative. And like the new one, anyone can turn up and be an exorcist, and you think, oh, what kind of bollocks is that? What I like about this is what the writer originally tried to do anyway. He wanted to show scientific reasons for everything that was going on.
Right.
So it's not like straight away, look, hear a voice speaking English backwards.
Yeah.
You know, they're like, no, we want evidence, and they can explain so many things because it makes it more believable. Because in the real world, everyone would try and find scientific explanations. So when you got that committee with all the doctors, and she's going, I've seen all these doctors, and what do you do? And then one of them, last desperate attempt, goes, look, have you considered like going to a priest? You know, but they're reluctant to say, because they think it's basically them admitting, look, we've exhausted all avenues.
Yeah. You know the bits in the hospital as well? That's actually real operation. That's like, you know, when the needles are going in. Yeah. That's all real. You know, and you feel.
Well, they didn't actually do that.
No, not to her. Right. Not to her. That's to other people.
So I wouldn't let them do that to Lily.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some viewers, mentioning that, some viewers suffered adverse physical reactions, fainting or vomiting, to shocking scenes such as a realistic cerebral angiography, which was that. Was that scene? So the bloke saying, Reagan, you're going to feel a little pinch. It was all the medical people at the time applauded the film because they said that is the exact thing, and the reason being is because the people who were in that scene were actually real.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you about one of them in a minute.
Oh, I think I know.
Do you know?
I think I've read that.
Right, so we'll go on to the purported curse of the film, which some people say was cursed. Yeah. So the shooting was delayed 6 weeks after a bird flew into a circuit breaker on the house set, starting a fire that destroyed all of them except for Reagan's room.
Mad, isn't it?
A carpenter cut his thumb off, and a lighting technician lost his toe. As well as McGowan, who we mentioned earlier, died. Maliaros, who was the mum, she died before the film was finished. A night watchman died. The operator of the refrigeration system in Reagan's room, and also an assistant cameraman's newborn baby died.
Yeah, I know it's always been. It's always, people have always said it's been cursed, this film. Same with Poltergeist. Poltergeist is the other one. Yeah, I think, where there's a lot of people died from that.
Well, see, like Linda Blair says she thinks, I don't believe it's because she thinks it's a long period of time they were shooting a film and people die, and she just thinks it's a coincidence, even though her granddad died during the first week.
Yeah.
And Max von Sydow, he had to return to Sweden because his brother died.
Yeah, you don't know, do you? Sometimes you don't know if you are sort of playing with fire with certain subjects, like, you know, do sort of things come out and go right, they're going to sort of get their revenge by killing people. You don't know. I mean, I don't know. Maybe not.
Well, talking of killing people and what you mentioned before, Paul Bateson, who was the technician in the angiography, was convicted of murdering a journalist called Verrill. I didn't put his full name. He was also implicated in a series of unsolved slayings of gay men in Manhattan known as the Bag Murders, and the experience inspired Friedkin to make Cruising, that film with Al Pacino in 1980. Yeah. So, but he got the job because he actually done that. It was actually about this time, before the film was released, because he had a problem with alcohol, he started drinking again and he ended up losing his job.
Right,
okay. Mike Oldfield, who we mentioned was done Tubular Bells, he was 19 when he recorded Tubular Bells.
Really?
And if you listen to it, it's got hundreds of different instruments called, like, he played all of them.
Really?
Played all the instruments. Yeah.
Wow.
That's fantastic.
That's a talent, isn't it?
And I think that's down to not having things like TikTok and internet and distractions, you know? How much...
I think it has dampened a lot of people's creativity because they're getting creativity by watching other people's sort of stuff, you know? No one's coming out of anything fresh or new, you know?
I know. I mean, I wish... I always wish that I could do something like, do you remember in Whiplash, Andrew Neiman, the boy who wants to be a great drummer?
Yeah.
He dumps his girlfriend, he chucks everything that he owns, and all he's got is his drums and the CD player, so he's listening to the drums, and he's constantly practicing his art. You get rid of all your distractions, you know? I wish I could sort of get rid of my smartphone and just have an old style phone, get rid of my PlayStation, get rid of anything that's going to distract me, cut loads of people out of my life and really focus on what I want to do. And then of course you're going to increase the chance of you succeeding in that thing. But it's easier said than done, because you go, but I want to have fun, I want to relax, I want to watch crappy old EastEnders or whatever, you know. But yeah, it's back then it was easier to do because you didn't have distractions, so you had more talent. Mike Oldfield would not have been, if he was 19 now, he would not have made anything like that. He'd have had a little beats machine.
Yeah, I think it has. I mean, it's fantastic, the internet and all the stuff that it brings with it, as well as occasionally it's scary as well, parts of it. But I think it's just people's attention spans are so short now. Like, it's scrolling, it's like 5-second attention spans. So no one can really put any time and effort into doing anything or being creative or thinking about anything for longer than, well, a few seconds now. Well, that's what it seems like. Even though, yeah, there will be the odd ones that break through, but a lot of people are just sort of like just brain dead, really. Just scroll. I mean, I'm one of them now. I'm scroll.
I'm guilty of it. I have so many things I watch now, even like little videos on TikTok. I'm watching them, and after about 20 seconds, I'm like, oh, I want to know what they said, but life's too short, and you sort of just, you know. It was nominated for Best Picture, which is the first horror film ever to be nominated for a Best Picture. That's what I'm talking about. It's that new one, The Believer, would never have been nominated for Best Picture. It actually won an award for Worst Picture. worst sequel or something like that.
Oh, I'm not going to bother watching that now then. I was going to watch it.
Like it.
Yeah, all right.
No, it was a task watching it. And the only reason I sat there, I actually fell asleep the first time I watched it. And today I thought, I just want to see that middle bit, because I woke up at the end and I didn't know Ellen Burstyn was in it. And she was at the end with like her eyes bandaged up. And I thought, oh, I didn't know she was in this. They can't have just added that for no reason. So then I went back and watched the thing. And then I watched Exorcist 3. And again, I can't help myself but then looking at my phone going, who's that? Who's that? So
yeah, you have to, didn't you?
Yeah.
And the demon's voice was actually mixed with animal sounds as well. So that's what gave it that kind of eeriness.
Well, the sound design actually did win an award. And I can believe that because watching, again, I keep comparing it, the new one to the old one. The original sound, like when she's there in the hallway, you hear the scraping upstairs and you think...
Yeah, in the cinema, that would have been really good.
Yeah. But even at home, as I said, if you watch it, if you do watch that one again, switch off all the lights, because again, if you was watching, imagine this was the cinema, but all the lights are up.
Surround sound and all that.
But if you've got all these distractions and stuff, if you're at home alone, you switch all the lights off, turn the volume up, and those bits where you go, and she's like, there's rats up there. He goes, no, there's no mouse, there's no mouse. And, you know, it's so slow burning, but it's so well acted, and these little moments. And as I said, that I felt the sound was fantastic, and it definitely deserved to win. It also won Best Adapted Screenplay. Yeah. Which is weird because he adapted it from his own novel. Yeah. William Peter Blatty.
William Peter Blatty.
I
remember the thing I was going to say a couple of minutes ago now. You know the pea soup bit? You know, that is actually pea soup with oatmeal. That was actually supposed to actually hit his chest. Yeah. And it hit his face by accident, and that's why his reaction is real. Yeah. Because it wasn't meant to hit him in the face.
Yeah, Friedkin does come across a bit like a Kubrick type in some ways, because I know that there was the bit when Merrin's sitting there listening to things, and then the phone rings and his head spins round when he's sort of like, what's that? And how he got that reaction, he fired a gun next to his head. So he looked round like that. And he got really pissed off with him.
It worked.
Yeah, but he got pissed off with him, which I can understand. He goes, what are you doing? I'm an actor. I can do that. I can look scared and go, oh, what's that? Give me a chance to do it before you just decide to pull a gun out. And he also, there was that priest, the priest who reads his last rites. He comes down the stairs and he's holding his hand and you can see he's shaking. Do you have anything to say?
I know what happened there.
Yeah, and he said, Friedkin slapped him around the face.
Do you trust me? Because they was friends, weren't they?
Yeah.
And he said, do you trust me? And he slaps him right round the face and then said, action.
Yeah. I can't wait to make my film next year. You and Matt. Ben, do you trust me? No.
There was also another thing I wanted to look. Oh, Linda Blair, she received death threats after from this film. And had to have like sort of security around her for 6 months after, which is silly really. She's a young girl. She was like 14 or 15 at the time.
Yeah, it's weirdos out there though, aren't there?
A real demonic growl was actually accidentally recorded. During post-production, sound engineers claimed they picked up strange low-frequency noises that didn't match any source in the studio. Friedkin refused to use them, saying that he didn't want to tempt fate. So, you know, as I'm saying, sometimes when you mess with stuff, you know, you're messing with something that, you know, that you don't know, that you're not going to get out of, you know. You might be opening the door to something. That's why with Ouija boards, I know you might be thinking it's funny.
But you won't use it.
But I won't use it because it's like, it's a thing that I've always, maybe it's because it's a fear thing in me from being a child.
Hopefully one night, you know, you might get drunk and go, oh, let's play Ouija board.
And then die.
And it keep going,
yeah, no. I don't want that. Yeah, because I'm not being funny. The kind of spirits that come through in Ouija boards don't seem to be nice spirits, aren't
they? Yeah, but you're basing it on that. Apparently, no, most people use Ouija boards because it's like a way to contact the dead. Now, you'll go to a psychic who say, oh, your dad's here. He's saying whatever.
A lot of them are rubbish.
Yeah, but my point is, why is that so different? It's no different. It's the same.
Yeah, but I'm saying I don't want to mess with things that I don't understand.
Yeah, well, you know, I'm sure there's videos on YouTube to learn how to use it.
I'm sure there's people that do it, but the thing is, it would freak me out if it started moving on its own when I was, or if I was doing it with someone. I think, yeah, you're pushing that.
Say if you went, Dad, are you here? And he went, moved up to yes.
Yeah.
You'd go, oh my God. You'd think, oh, I've got to ask him questions. Ask all these questions.
I'm sure Dad would get through to me any other way.
And then at the end you go, is that really you, Dad? And he goes, no.
Yeah, exactly.
Goodbye.
Yeah.
And blood starts coming out your eyes.
Yeah, no, it's a really good film though. Really good film. The Exorcist. It still holds up today, and it's like 51 years old.
And you first came across it through French and Saunders.
Yeah, the first time I ever see it was the French and Saunders sketch. You know, that is how I got into The Exorcist, and then I was told by people, "Oh, that film's been banned. It's so scary." And I loved horror films, so I was like, "Wow, this is like the ultimate horror film."
They must have seen it then, to inspire them.
Of course, yeah, they would have done. It wouldn't have been banned at that point.
Yeah.
They're older than me, French and Saunders. They're about 10, 12 years older than me, 15 years older than me. So they would have been around when they would have seen it in the cinemas and stuff. But also, like that was my first sort of inkling of it. So I got an idea of, it's a girl and she's getting slowly possessed, and her face is all getting all like messed up, and she looks demonic and all that. And then so I really wanted to see this film, but there was nowhere to see it back then because it was banned, so you couldn't get copies of it.
So you thought
I remember buying a copy years later that had the beginning of the tape was all messed up, but then I watched it, and like you could fast forward, I could fix videos back then. I could just sort of wind the tape on a little bit, open the cassette up, wind the tape on. So I watched the main of the film from when she sort of starts getting possessed, and thinking, oh, it's not. I think I built it up so much in my head that I was going to be so terrified of this film. But it was a brilliant film. Loved the film, but it didn't scare me.
No.
But I think that's because you become immune to stuff. But I think as I say, it's held up really well to this day, and it's loved by so many people.
So did you do your parody? When you got me and Jules to do
your parody, the one I made my own one with my two younger brothers that I based on the French and Saunders, because I hadn't seen The Exorcist at that point.
Oh, so you still hadn't seen it?
I hadn't seen it, no. I don't think that Repossessed had come out either at that point. I remember that was my first thing, and I remember asking Mum about it. She goes, "Oh, The Exorcist, oh yeah, really scary film, blah blah blah," and it's been banned. And then that sort of made you think, well, wow. Wow, what is this film that has been banned and it's that scary? And it looked scary from like the comedy sketch part of it. You thought, oh, this is obviously like a P take of it, but it looks like this is...
It could be scary.
Yeah.
Well, I still think it... as I said, I watched it... was it last night? No, I think it was the night before I watched it. And I found it was still holds up. It's really creepy. But
yeah, like Shining does. Shining's not scary, but it's got an eeriness to it.
Yeah.
I think that's also to do with the cinematography is brilliant on both of them films.
Yeah. And that's it, because they make it. They don't think, right, we've got to make a scary film, we've got to make a horror film, we've got to do jump scare. They
want to tell a story.
Think, I want to make a film, and it happens.
They want to tell a story. It's not about, right, we want to do this. Then bits will come into it. They'll go, oh, this is going to be a scary part. This is going to look great on camera. But they're not sort of... They wanted to tell a story, and that's what you see with The Exorcist, is the fact that it's the story of the young girl that is slowly being taken away.
And I think it works so much better, again, when they don't overdo it. So no, like when they start screaming and they go up to the room and all the stuff's moving and the door slams and the chest of drawers goes towards her and all that, the head turning... It's not like if they'd done that now, it'd be like dun, 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 all this music and like quick cuts and stuff. It don't need that. It's just bright.
You just don't know what to expect each time she goes in that room. There's going to be something. It's going to be more extreme.
Like when she goes in there just to close the windows and cover up Reagan, you're like, oh, what going on?
And there's this "Help Me" on her. Yeah, no, really good. It's really good. The effects are fantastic in it, and the actors, everything. Can't fault the film. Love the film.
No, it's brilliant.
Right, on IMDb, this film got 8.1. Out of 10.
I think that's
which is good.
I think that's about right. That's what I'd give it.
Rotten Tomatoes, it got 78% by the critics, which isn't bad for a horror film. Better. It should be better, but for critics and a horror film, it's not too bad. And 87% by the audience. Now, I thought that would have been a little bit higher because people that...
Yeah, but some people have an adverse reaction against things like that, especially like they have this thing. I don't acknowledge this. What's the thing they say on TikTok? Oh, I refuse to let this into my life. They're very sort of paranoid about things like that. You get so many religious people go, no, I don't want to. That's a horrible film. 0. Yeah. So that's...
look at Catherine, right? She's never seen this film. She's Catholic, one of my best friends, and she's Irish. And I remember she wouldn't even entertain watching the film. I remember we went to, what is it, that place in Blackpool, Passage of Terror in Blackpool. she nearly had a heart attack because there's a part in it. It's like it's a horror museum, but it's got real actors like walking around and stuff like that. So it's like being in a horror film.
Yeah.
There's a scene where there's a bit you have to walk through this room. There's no other way out, and it's like about that much space around the bed, and this exorcist and she's sitting in the bed. Catherine, this must have really scared the shit out of her. Yeah. I mean, we was laughing and joking. She built up
so much.
She built up so much, and then there's this exorcist in the bed and that leaping out trying to get her. Catherine shit herself. Yeah. Seriously. Oh, I feel so sorry for her. It's brilliant though, isn't it? Passage Terror. I recommend it for anyone that likes a good scare.
Yeah. No, I recommend it to anyone that's a nice quiet day, wants to really calm. Yeah. Take your kids and your nan.
Yeah. Anyway, the budget for this film was $12 million. A fantastic return, $441.3 million return.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Amazing return.
Yeah. I'm surprised, really, they didn't even make more sequels from that. I know the original, the Heretic one, originally that was literally just going to be a priest investigating the first film, the events of the first film, and they was going to cut in some of the unused scenes. So you would have had her walking down the crab walk then. Yeah. You'd have had these other bits.
Yeah, but they used all that then, couldn't they?
Yeah, but I mean, shows it was such a cash grab. They thought, we've got to make more money out of this because the studio didn't know what to think.
And didn't her maid Sharon get killed in the second one as well, didn't she?
Yeah, she sets on fire or something.
That's right.
Sets herself on fire for being such a crap film.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's a great film.
No, good film.
Yeah. A classic. I mean, this is the other thing I was thinking the other day. If you think of like a Mount Rushmore of like classic horror, modern horror, like films which have really sort of changed the genre, it's one of the ones that pop to your mind. You've got Exorcist, Shining, maybe Texas Chainsaw Massacre, things like that, but Exorcist definitely up there, so unique. And I'm surprised the critics gave it such a low rating because really I don't think they've watched the film properly.
No.
They've watched it for, it's a horror film, not really paid attention. Or maybe they had the same reaction as other people and they thought, oh no, it's sacrilegious. It's not sacrilegious.
No. It's a brilliant film though.
Yeah.
So what we doing next week? Is it my choice next week?
Well, no, me and Lily's going to go watch the new Frankenstein.
Okay.
Because we went Frankenstein Museum earlier this year in Bath and she likes the book. So I thought we'll go watch that. Yeah.
Okay.
So next week, Frankenstein.
Okay. Thank you very much. Like, subscribe, and share. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Bye bye.
Your mother stuck jelly babies in the head. This is not. Your mother's a biology teacher in Chester. Right, stick out your tongue, love. Yeah, I think I'll get you some sets of